I have never experienced the level of racism and hatred, and I've always been controversial, but I've never seen the level of anger, hatred when it comes to speaking about the Jews. Not Israel, Jewish people. Not just Israel, the nation, which I'm behind biblically and support, but just Jewish people. And our leaders are doing a disservice by continuing to tell us to unite, to continue to tell us that there's not a problem. Yes, the left is horrible. We know how bad the left is. And I'm a proud conservative because I'm a conservative in values, even if the people who claim to be conservative, who claim to be Christian, who rap patriotism around the cross and blaspheme God and cuss and use profanity and use...
Man, the black conservatives are leaking oil. They have no more use for you mascots. For many years, the radical right used these black conservatives to use their talking points. They propped them out, placed them in front of everybody, because during the time that the Democrats was having their reign, there was a lot of things that the radical right wanted to say, but they couldn't say. So they started to fund and put money behind a lot of these radical conservatives and allow Candace Owens and the Brandon Tatums and I forgot that preacher dude, right? All of those people to run wild and say a whole bunch of disparaging things about the black community, right? And they knew you could say anything you want about black folks, just don't say nothing about us. The minute you say something about us, we're going to cut the money off. So you start seeing, these people during the Biden administration, they start really blowing up. They start going all around saying a whole bunch of weirdo stuff, right? That we would call them out. We would be exposing these people all the time, challenging them to debates and saying like, why are you talking like this? How come you never call out anything that W folks do? Why are you always talking about our communities? So now that the Democrats have fell off and Donald Trump is back in office and the radical right don't need them to use those talking points no more because they can just say it themselves. Now they have no more use for the Candace Owens. They have no more use for the Brandon Tatums, right? So now Brandon Tatum is mad because Tucker Carlson, he interviewed Nick Fuentes, right? And he's upset, like, why would you platform a Nick Fuentes knowing that he's racist? Well, I thought America wasn't a racist country. I thought America wasn't racist no more. Listening to you guys last time we checked, but now that the money's cutting off, these W conservatives are turning against you. They unsubscribing. They're not rocking with y'all no more. You guys don't know what to do. So now you're calling out Tucker Carlson. You're saying this.
Explain yourself. You said on Candace Owens' show, you don't want a race mix. You are a racist. Explain how you not a racist right now. That's what interview I would have. Why are we gushing over each other, smelling butts? Turning point. Do you see the person that's on stage? I don't know how many times I got to say this. And people got mad at me and said, Brandon Tatum, you dividing the movement. I simply said he's antithetical to the mission of Turning Point USA. The stuff that he's doing is antithetical to what Charlie stood for. At some point, somebody got to drop their nuts and say, I can't have you out here doing this. We got young, impressionable young men, and this is what you infusing in their mind. Next, you're going to have Nick Fuentes up there?
Now, Brandon Tatum, he would go out of his way to try to show W America, I'm not like those N-words. I'm not like those people. And we kept telling Brandon, they see us all as the same. I don't know why you keep trying to separate yourself. I don't know what happened to you in your childhood, but whenever he would show or depict anything about black culture, he would show the underbelly of our class. That's all he would show. He would never show the black graduates. He would never show the educated black man or black woman going to work, our inventions. He would never, ever show any positivity. Anytime he talked about the black community, it was always about something negative. Whenever he talked about W folks, he was defending the things that they was either doing to us or defending them, showing the best of them. He was never, ever, ever talk about he defend the police, right or wrong, weak or strong. He even said he would defend the police over his own mama. This is what this man said, right? This guy, he was so upset when they invited Tucker Carlson to the Turning Point USA festivities and they didn't invite him, right? And he was saying, wait a minute. I thought you guys was at odds with Tucker Carlson. I do everything you guys ask. I do all the bootlicking. Well, they didn't invite you. He said he was the #1 Christian. Man, them W conservatives don't need them. They don't need you no more. The things that they was using you guys to say online, they can say it themselves. Their commander-in-chief is in charge, right? So he's whining online now saying this.
I was not invited to any of the Turning Point Faith events.
Oh, no, not you.
Which I'm one of the biggest Christians in the movement right now.
Okay.
That stand up for Jesus Christ on every platform that I've ever been on. But I didn't cry and say, that's...
I'm sure you did not, but you're doing that right now.
I said, you know what? I understand, man. God gave me a platform that's bigger than any platform you can give me anyway.
Man, keep God's name off your motherfucking mouth.
So I can do my own Christian stuff on my own platform. I'm not tripping, bro. I'll still do the thing because I care about the kids. But I was like, it's all right, man. If they don't want me to speak because of something else, when they got Tucker up here talking bad about Jews, I said it is what it is. That's not my place. I don't run the organization. And you know why they didn't want me in Turning Point Faith? Probably because a donor said, we don't want Brandon at Turning Point Faith because of his beliefs.
Look, I don't think it was your beliefs, officer. It was your,
A donor probably told him, we don't want Brandon there. A donor probably told him, we don't want Candace there. And what did they do? They didn't allow me to be.
So in his comment section, his own followers came out and posted stuff like this, right? You know what, Harbor population, you N-word, right? Hey, Officer Tatum, right? So they started to post stuff like really like to get up under his skin, right? And let him know that he wasn't wanted, right? Hey, Officer Tatum, if you delete your account, I'll give you a treat, right? So now they trying to get him out. They trying to get him out of here, right? Somebody else said Brandon Tatum house. You know what? This is his own people. This is his own subscribers calling him out, right? They also said this, right? Shut the you know what, and they call him all kinds of names. Dr. Morris America first, right? Man, listen, they really going in on this dude, man. Then somebody said, what's wrong with this guy? He seems a little cringe, but I didn't hear anything particular egregious. Did you maybe post the wrong clip? So he got, and then it says somebody else came and said, just the word, bro. Stop being a black supremacist. So now he's being exposed and called out by his own subscribers. They're turning on him because they don't need him no more. I kept telling him, you wasn't nothing but a mascot to these people. That's all you was. You was a mascot being used. Now they don't need to use you no more. So now, y'all remember that one dude, he called himself the MAGA preacher? Now he's online trying to cop a plea and basically trying to call out the W conservative community on racism and saying that if they don't cut the racism out, they're going to lose the black vote and the Latino vote. He's online saying this.
I'm telling you, if the GOP, if the Republican Party, J.D. Vance, Trump, and I love Trump, but if our leaders don't distance themselves from Tucker, if he's going to platform people like Nick Fuentes, I'm telling you, you're going to lose the black vote.
This guy's a joke. Now he's pleading for them to stop being racist because if they don't stop, they're going to lose a lot of people that went over to the Republican Party. No, you can't come back. You, Officer Tatum, Candace Owens, and all that, you can never come back. We ain't rocking with y'all the same way we wasn't rocking with Omarosa. All of them. Y'all can never come back and don't want to come back because you got an agenda against black people. You don't care what them W folks do. All this stuff is for show. You just want them to stop calling you an N-word and be nice to you. That's all you want. You guys want. We warned you guys. So you talk bad about the community. You already knew who those people were, but you was willing. You was trying everything you can in your power to be accepted by those people to the point where you was willing to sell your own people out. Whatever happened to you when you was young, whoever they did to you, right? You made the whole black community pay for it, right? So now when they don't need you to be their mascots no more, right? And they breaking their tools and emptying out the trash, y'all don't know what to do. So you still talking like this.
Hispanic vote and the conservative woman vote. You're going to lose the Christian vote. These people are going to destroy the coalition that Trump has built. That amazing coalition that had blacks, Hispanics, record high with Hispanic voters, record high with black voters. Me and others, Brandon Tatums, the guy from PragerU, so many of us black conservatives have worked so hard to convince our people, the little people that have listened to us, that the Republican Party, and I know it's not true, but you know how it looks to black people and to Hispanics, that Tucker Carlson, one of the biggest voices of the right, is platforming a man that called black people N-words? That has publicly said that black people are inferior mentally, publicly, who has spoken against interracial marriage, who has praised Hitler and Stalin? You can kiss the 2028 election goodbye if they don't stop being political, our leaders don't stop being political, and distance themselves from Tucker Carlson. I like Tucker Carlson, and I'm not trying to cancel Tucker Carlson, but you cannot platform white supremacists and think that black people are going to support you, or Hispanic.
You know what y'all know what the funny part is? This dude says, he's saying that the conservatives are going to lose a lot of the black vote that they have and the brown vote because they're platforming Tucker Carlson, even though Tucker Carlson called black people the N-word, and he support the German guy and Stalin and all these people, right? But then he turned around at the same time while he's trying to warn them. He turned around and tell about losing us. He turned around and said, well, he liked Tucker Carlson. How do you like Tucker? Man, this guy is crazy. Crazy. But listen, y'all, it gets real crazy because these guys still support the small hats. Y'all gotta mind me. Y'all know I was sick for a while, so my face is still kind of paralyzed over here. So if you see me wipe my nose and all that kind of stuff, yeah. But yeah, I'm still a little paralyzed over here on my face. My health is coming back, but I'm still dealing with some things. But with that being said, this guy right here, this guy got destroyed by the W conservatives. I'm talking about they was destroying him so bad that they made him cry and made him come back with a follow-up video when he was trying to support him. And they was like, yo, we don't need you as a mascot. They picked him up and punted him like a ball. Man, go back over there to the, you know what? We don't want you. Look at this.
I have never experienced the level of racism and hatred, and I've always been controversial, but I've never seen the level of anger, hatred when it comes to speaking about the Jews. Not Israel, Jewish people, not just Israel, the nation, which I'm behind biblically as support, but just Jewish people. And our leaders are doing a disservice by continuing to tell us to unite, to continue to tell us that there's not a problem. Yes, the left is horrible. We know how bad the left is. And I'm a proud conservative because I'm a conservative in values, even if the people who claim to be conservative, who claim to be Christian, who rap patriotism around the cross and blaspheme God and cuss and use profanity and use unchristlike character and demonize Jewish people like they're unredeemable, when Jesus said God so loved the whole world that he sent his only begotten son, that whoever believeth in him will not perish but have everlasting life. There's no part in that scripture that said except the Jew. He came, actually the Bible says, for the Jew first and then for the Gentiles. So these people who are like reminisce of the KKK, when the KKK began to, and it's a very small percentage of the woke right, it's a very small percentage, it's not a lot, there's a very small percentage that follow the Nick Fuentes crowd. I've had nothing but great reception from most Republicans. And so I just want to say, I won't stop speaking. You can't silence me. I don't care how many N-words you call me. I don't care what you say. I'm determined to stand for the Jewish people because they're God's people. And you're wrong. The Bible's right. And you're wrong. I don't care what church you think you go to or what false teaching you've heard. God hasn't changed his mind about Israel, and neither have I.
I'm confused. So, okay, fair enough. You go out of your way to speak up for that group. But you go out of your way to talk down on the black community. You just sat here on this video and said all the atrocious and horrible things that Tucker Carlson has said about black people and was warning the conservatives that they may lose the black vote. They may lose the election because you're platforming Tucker Carlson, who is a bona fide racist towards blacks. And then you said you like him, while at the same time advocating for the other group. So you don't even like your own people then. That same Christian Bible stuff, you're not giving grace or nothing to your own people. Because you just sat here and told us that you like a man that You like a man that goes out of his way to disrespect us, right? You said you like him. You said you like Tucker Carlson. And then you said it's just a small group of the Nick Fuentes followers. No, because the Turning Point USA people didn't bring Brandon Tatum or none of those black folks onto their platforms. None of them. They kicked everybody out the whip. This dude's making excuses because he know he can't come back home. He knows that he can't come back home. These guys are leaking oil and they on the run, man, because they don't need that. They broke their tools and they don't need their mascots no more. But I'm going to cut this short here, man. Y'all got to let me know what y'all think about this, man. What's your opinion on these dudes, man? If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section, man. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.